Welcome, 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 guys. My name is Ora-gen, and this is the Ora-gen Channel. I want to definitely welcome you back today for another reading. No matter what time of day it is or what day you found this message, I am super grateful that you are here. Guys, today's date is Monday, April 28th. We are at the end of April, guys. I feel like every time I've gotten on here to do a reading, we've just been bolting through the month of April, and now here we are. So definitely big shout out to Aries and Tauruses. This is your month, to be sure. And definitely hoping that you guys had a beautiful April. This is definitely the start of spring here, and I hope that you guys are enjoying some new beginnings associated with springtime. So we're going to dive right in today, guys, because the first part of this message really has to do with something that kind of just channeled in from my higher self, as far as like some strong or passionate energies associated with like what I'm picking up in the collectives. And so I feel really moved to just share some thoughts today. And as it so happens, and as it often happens, this really just rolls right into the download for today as well. So we're going to start with the thoughts and then just go into the download, but everything truly is connected here. Just a side note, guys, big shout out to the subscribers. I want to give a moment of thanks and gratitude to you. We are over 10,000 and steadily growing. So thank you so much for your love and support. The Ora-gen Collective, the Ora-gen Channel would not be here without you. And definitely to new viewers, if you are enjoying the content, if you're enjoying the messages, please do like, share, and subscribe so that you are infusing or becoming part of the community. I am more likely to pick up on your energy and have messages associated with energies that you are dealing with. So guys, let's go on ahead and jump into the message for today. So this morning, as I was starting out my day, I had already had a download, but I ran across a video from one of my favorite readers, and I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right. I think it's Syed Starseed, but he's phenomenal. If you haven't had a chance to go check his channel out, please do. Very like on point messages there that he gives, that they give. It's phenomenal. So I was listening to his channel this morning, and they were giving some messages about our current climate over here in this country. Okay. And I'm being careful how I word things because I don't want to get the video like flagged or shadow banned. I've already had some of that happen here recently. So it is a thing. But they were speaking about this, and I'm sorry, guys, I'm not sure about pronouns. I'm always careful about pronouns with people, but there was something going on here in the reading, just generally about, energies coming up around current events and what's happening in this country and how people are responding to that. And they touched on the fear aspect. They touched on the aspect of like preparedness. They touched on the aspect of like people having to process that there are energies right now that are making decisions and choices for others or that will affect others, and they're not truly concerned about how this affects others, and that they're in the process of doing something that they are definitely there to do, but it's not really about the populace. It's about what they're there to do and how that's affecting the populace. So, they talked about some different areas where, the collectives and others might be processing what's happening. It's a really great read. Just go over there and check it out. It came out this morning, I think. But I got to thinking about, I've been thinking about this topic and I've been talking with people about it. It's what I do. But I was thinking about it from the angle of like the people that I'm speaking with and, how there's this underlying energy of fear that is really being pushed right now and how that's affecting others. And what this whole situation that's happening now is really about, and how there might be aspects of this that, we're really not understanding or seeing because they haven't unfolded before us yet to get a full glimpse into what's really happening in our timeline right now. We are definitely looking at dealing with a major, yes, confirmation, a major shift. Okay, no ifs, ands, or buts. Now, the way that this is coming about, we're dealing with a lot of toxic energies and things that are very destabilizing and destructive. There's just no other way to word it. But we are dealing with a shift. And I do pick up strongly here in the energy that we have groups that are in positions of power that are like infighting with each other about the direction that they want to see things go or the direction they want to take things. And so there's something here in the energy about, and this for some of you who understand, if you don't, do your research, but this could even include like galactic forces and galactic groups that have a vested interest in seeing things go a certain way with humanity. Okay. So for those of you who I sound like I'm woo woo or what the heck is she talking about, definitely do some research on galactic forces, galactic federation, on some of the different starseed groups. And I talk about that a lot here, the starseed groups, but there are groups that are working together right now in association with what is happening on the planet. And that's real. That's why we're seeing all of it's not fake. Some of the, unidentified and ET type things that are being seen are quite real. And you can ask some of the people who've seen them. I've definitely seen them. So once again, call me kooky if you'd like, but I know what I know. Definitely, I encourage you not to take my word for anything. Do your own research. But with that being said, there's a lot here about the timing of some of these things coming to the surface. They're not actually ETs in a lot of cases. They're interterrestrial. They've been here with us. They're walking around with us and now are coming to the forefront and becoming more prominent, where people are able to see some of these beings. And so I've talked with different people who've had experiences, and then there's my own, of course. But this is very interesting because all of these shifts and changes right now, it's like somebody took the timeline and put it in a box and just shook it violently and then set it down like, okay, let's see what happens. And that's the way people are feeling in a lot of cases. Like a feeling of fear, vulnerability, scared, fury, anger. Some people I've talked with who are not violent beings, like an energy of violence popping up in them about rights that, things are being, removed that they utilized for support. Okay. There's a lot happening in the energy, guys. And so it's something that we need to really look at when we start to see these energies popping up within ourselves, like recognizing that, not just trying to avoid dealing with what's happening within ourselves. And that could happen by virtue of us saying, okay, well, I got to tap out from all of this. I can't really process it, which is fine. But then we tap out to the point where we actually tap out from ourselves, not the topics around us, but like we tap out in relation to how those topics are affecting us on a frequency level, on a vibrational level, energy-wise, emotionally. We cannot avoid aspects of ourselves and the way that we're processing to run from something, because there's always going to be that background dialogue about how we're feeling about what's happening around us. And it's fair that we have strong feelings. It's fair that we have strong emotions about what's happening around us. It's fair that we feel fear sometimes because we know we can't change or affect something, right? But we can change and affect the energy. We can change and affect things with ourselves or in small communities, groups, family, friends, learning how to build resources for ourselves by coming together with skill sets and helping one another. We do have those abilities, but a lot of times when we're in a fight, flight, freeze state, we tend to do just that. We either want to run from it, be fearful of it, or just freeze. We don't know what to do. When really we have the tools inside us all along to help us when things are challenging. And so I'm encouraging the listeners today to really step into that part of yourself. I talked with a client earlier today and was talking with them about that very topic. What are ways that you can step into a self-supportive energy that is beneficial for yourself and maybe even potentially for others around you? Just seeing somebody calm right now can help another person, believe it or not. So there's something here about getting grounded, getting clear. And you might say, okay, well, Ora-gen, how the heck would I do that? Well, it could be something like, maybe you and three other people or two other people have a weekly chat online where you talk about what's going on and have a place for support. It could be working with groups in the community. It could be working through, say, your spiritual group or organization. It could be getting your hands in the dirt and learning how to grow things. It could be getting active and, taking that dance class or whatever that you've been putting off because you just didn't have time. It could be getting up some hours earlier so you have more time in the day so you can do more of the things that you want to do with your day and not just the things that you have to do. There's lots of ways: breath work, meditation, taking time out to laugh, going for walks, grounding out, sitting underneath a tree, the weather's nice. There's lots of ways to tap into this energy, guys. And that is what I'm encouraging today, because there are some things that are going to transpire here associated with basically the destruction of the matrix or the matrixy like systems. This is going to happen. We were never going to get from where we are to New Earth energy without experiencing some destruction. Impossible. What does that mean for people and humanity? Well, it means that we're going to feel some discomfort. Why is that? Well, even though the matrixy systems suck, because they do, still they're known, and there are some avenues of support that we've relied on inside of these systemic structures and systems that are going away. So we may begin to feel like, oh my gosh, how am I going to support myself? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Because this is being removed. But I'm here to remind you today that that ability to support yourself was always there. It's just it got muddled, beat down, trampled down by matrixy and systemic structures. Those are put in place to get you to just rely on systemic structures, so you are less empowered. That's exactly the point of that. This is exactly how they have kept the populace asleep for so long. It's because everybody got dependent on, basically the substance, which was the matrix or systemic structure. You're being encouraged at this time to move away from the thought process that you can't do it without those systemic structures, or that the end of those systemic structures means the end of everything. That's not true. We are definitely in a shift, and it is very challenging. It's very volatile, right? But there will be something else on the other side of it. This is not me speaking up or supporting any group or anything that's happening. This is just me talking about this whole situation from more of a bird's eye view of what the collectives have been asking for, which is to get out of the matrix. Something had to change in order for that to happen. That's what I'm thinking I'm looking at here, because it's just so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous, some of the things that I'm seeing. Some of these things that are quite atrocious as far as people's viewpoints towards others. Bigoted, racism, all of these things are being brought to the surface so we can look at them head on and say, that's disgusting. That needs to change. But enough people had to be forced to take their head out of the sand, out of the dirt, and be forced to look at this. Look at it. This is a nightmare. We cannot sustain, the Earth's populace doing things this way. We have to change so that we can continue on. We had to get to that place. So there's a lot more here. And definitely I want to add, even with energy work and pulling cards and things like that, we're not able to see beyond choices that individuals have not made yet, right? So if a person is at a crossroads, left or right, and they haven't made that choice, we can see the potential maybe of where their general mindset is in the energy or the way they're presenting in the energy, but we're not able to see beyond free will. Any reader or energy worker that tells you that they can see beyond someone's free will is not being authentic. Free will is a thing. We have agency. Okay, this is part of who we are as beings. And so we have some energies and entities involved in what's happening on the world scene right now that are still making choices and decisions about how they're going to move on certain topics. It's still evolving. It's still becoming what it's going to be. So there's some aspects we can gauge, but this is why it's very challenging to get very specific about dates and times of things. In some cases, it can happen, but in others, it's harder to do that because it has to do with energies that have not made certain choices yet. You're also going to see some energies more than likely switching sides or shifting when they see that they're on the losing team. You're going to see a lot of that. So there's a lot happening here. Once again, if you have not looked up about the starseed origins, the star groups, star being groups, the Galactic Federation and things like that, do some research so you can understand when these terms come up, what is being said, if you are unaware of that. But guys, I did a little pre-poll here, okay? And wow. So I went to the Truth Oracle just to ask Spirit, what is the truth about what is going on right now? This energy that is really heavy on a lot of people's hearts and is creating a lot of fear, anxiety, and some of these energies here that are very difficult for people to just move through. They feel frozen. They feel stuck. So the first card we had out here was the Reconcile card. There's a reconciliation here, okay? Something is being reconciled or repaired, or something that's happening in relation to our understanding of things. Remember I mentioned earlier here, we don't even know what we don't know. We don't know what we don't know. So to try to base all of our assumptions off of just what we see with our eyes isn't the most beneficial way to understand what's happening, because there's so many layers to this, and a lot of them are energetic. So if we just go off of our eyes, we might be missing things. So something here about a reconciliation or something being repaired in association with our understanding of what is happening here. Then we have the uninvited guest card. This one talks about a big change or a surprise. Something big is happening, and there's going to be a moment of decision for each being on this planet. And that moment may not be all at the same time. More than likely, it will not. It will be different choices that we make that aligns us with a certain timeline here. So this card is titled Uninvited Guest because this is not something maybe we think we have asked for. But in fact, if we've been asking for new earth energy or changes, we might have inadvertently been calling in something to shake things up that allows us to move into a different timeline, or that allows the system structures to be shifted, moved, collapsed. I don't know. It depends on how you view that and what you were asking for. But there is something here that feels uninvited. Okay. So I think I could safely state that most of us here feel like a lot of what's happening in our world and has been happening hasn't been feeling good, as far as like the world leaders and the people that are making choices and decisions is definitely feeling like an uninvited guest. Maybe not even a guest, like somebody who kicked the door down and just came in and started making choices to, like, F things up, basically. So there's something coming here, though, a big change due to what is happening on the current timeline. Okay, this goes beyond politics. This has to do with energies, principalities, and their function and their role in what is happening. And then we have the Firm card. And in this image, we see a feminine energy standing firm, and they have a sword securely placed in their hand. So there's something here about the balancing of the energies, like, and I'm not just talking about masculinity like men and women. I'm speaking about energies, like a balancing of the energies, masculine and feminine, and kind of more of that feminine energy coming in, which has to do with mothering energy and healing and giving birth to new things, things that have to do with nurturing, more of that energy returning to the timeline and to our planet, to our world. And that we need to be wide awake at this time. We also can note from this card that there is a great awakening right now. And many are beginning to stand firm in that awakening, like they're not allowing the system to lull them back to sleep. They've made their choice to awaken. And there's something here about cleaning the energy, cleansing the energy associated with your space around you, maybe your day-to-day things that you're dealing with, energies that might still be some way attached to you, cleansing and clearing those energies and being decisive at this time. Really standing firm in your choices that have to do with your wellness, your self-care, things that are necessary for you to stand firm and be stable in the energies that are presenting at this time. Then we have the Look For card. Look for. This one talks about investigation, exploring, and searching. We are being encouraged at this time here, what Spirit is saying, to really be open to our understanding of what's happening here. Don't lock yourself down in one thought, in one idea, because there is a big change coming and we need to be wide awake for what's happening. And we're supposed to really look for those signs, those clues, those cues, investigate, explore. Don't take my word for it. Don't take someone else's word for it. Do your own research. We're being encouraged to stop relying upon systemic structures to give us all of our knowledge, information, and tools, and to really learn how to tap into those that we naturally possess. And this might be the first time in our life that we're doing this, because the system did not teach us to do that. But you're being encouraged to tap into those. Those are skill sets and tools that you will be needing here very soon based on the current trajectory of things. Guys, we have the Gratitude card. There's always something to be grateful for, even in the darkest of situations. I'm quoting the card here. Now is the time to recognize what is going well in your life and what you are thankful for. Spirit is giving you a tool that you can use to help yourself when you notice that fear-based energy, that anxiety-based energy, that toxic, low vibrational energy starts to pop up within yourself. You know what I'm talking about. It's that energy that makes you want to go out and swing on somebody, or, have a short temper with somebody, or say volatile things about others and wishing bad on others because of what they're doing and the choices they're making. This will help you to move away from energies like this that lead you to behaviors that are not going to be in alignment for you. Not at all, because it doesn't move you in the direction you want to go, nor is it actually helpful. Gratitude is a space that we can rest in, that can help us to raise our vibration and also can feel very safe when we feel vulnerable. It can help us to shift into an energy that is more in alignment with what we want to feel. And it sends that frequency out to the universe and helps us to draw more of that back into our space. Guys, we have deception in reverse. We're about to hear the truth about a lot of things, guys. It's gonna get wild. It's gonna get wild. We're gonna hear a lot. And it's not just about public figures that people are probably thinking are shady anyways, okay? I'm talking about truths about our world, this plane that we live on, what this actually is, what the beings are that live here with us are, their role, what their role has been in the past, what actually happened in our history, not just what we were taught in the schools. There's a lot of information that's getting ready to come out. This is why deception's in reverse, because the masses, the populace was deceived greatly. I believe was it Malcolm X? Might have been Malcolm X who said that, religion is a scam. Once again, if you are feeling comfortable in the religion that you are in, and this is helpful and beneficial for you, it's just fine. I'm not judging. I'm just speaking about the fact that a lot of groups have been utilized to control the mindset of the populace, because so many people go through the churches. And so it's a great place to navigate groups into certain thought processes. If it isn't encouraging you to be self-empowered and to learn how to help yourself, just do me a favor and ask yourself why. We have the deception card on the table. A lot's going to come out about these different religious groups and churches as well, if in fact they have played a role in the mass deception of the populace. That's going to be coming out too. But this one says you're not seeing the entire picture of a person or situation. It may be purposefully withheld from you, or you may be choosing to look the other way or betray yourself in some way. It's time to gain clarity. Do I even need to say anything else to that? Then we have the Find the Lesson card. This came out on its side, guys. And that's because some individuals are finding the lesson and some are not. This one says something has happened and it stopped you in your tracks. In reality, it was simply teaching you where you needed to grow. There is no such thing as failure, so pick yourself up, learn from it, and keep going. We're being encouraged at this time that even though we're dealing with these challenges, this is not the time to freeze. There is much work that needs to be done by the light workers. You are going to be a source very soon here of calm and sanity in a situation that looks and feels completely insane. Your ability to be able to maintain your clarity and to regulate will be of the greatest benefit to others. Even if you're not actively talking with people and working with them, just them seeing you in that state will be an encouragement to them that they also can be in that state. You are powerful. The fact that you are here existing in this timeline is powerful. Please keep that in mind. Then we had depleted. The depleted card came up because for some in the collectives who are givers, empaths, you're being encouraged to be balanced about the energy, your relationships, your commitments. Be balanced and make sure you factor in time for self-care. This is also going to be a tool that helps you as things get a little topsy-turvy to be balanced in the energy so that you don't get depleted. Some of you are already depleted. We got to work on that. We need you. We're definitely going to need more of you, not less. And then we have release attachments. If there's something you need to let go of, if it's either a limiting belief, an untruth, or a negative behavior, it's holding you back and keeping you from stepping into your true potential and happiness. This card has come up a lot. There's some things that maybe we don't even know that we need to release in some form. Once again, it's that whole thought. We don't even know what we don't know sometimes. But don't worry. Your guides, the universe is going to show you. It will be very clear. So you can gently release, or these things will just kind of move out of the way so that way you can focus where you need to focus. But definitely there's some things here that can actually be limiting our true potential because we're preoccupied with the energy in some form. And that's why you're being encouraged to release those things. Then we have connect to intuition. You guys, your intuition is powerful. This is also your direct connection to spirit. A lot of you have guides and helpers that are giving you nods and information through your intuition and also through your dream state. You're being encouraged to really connect with that at this time. So that way, that pathway that looks a little unclear as to where you should step, you're going to be getting some hints on where to place your foot. This one says repeating patterns are keeping you from making a new choice in this situation. Break free from old ways of thinking and ask for new insight. So some of us might have some cycling thoughts about what's happening, why it's happening, and how it's happening. So there's going to be new information brought in, but if we're closed off to that new information, we're never going to understand fully. We're just going to keep putting ourselves back in that same cycle or pattern. So we're being encouraged to really connect to our intuition also, so that way we can understand when new information is coming in that's beneficial to our understanding, that we understand to step into that instead of ignoring it, because that can keep us stuck. Okay, guys. And then I pulled a couple of cards here that can be helpful for some processes that you can use to kind of just marinate on this energy that I shared with you today. And this is from the Inner Effing Peace deck. We have with a license to chill. This is a good one. Highly meditated. So something about chilling out in the energy and meditation. Okay? Highly meditated. Instead of highly the other, medicated, they're saying highly meditated. So this is going to be like medicine for you. For those of you who resonate, to be able to sit and meditate is going to feel like medication. It's going to feel like something that's like a healing salve or balm when you are feeling anxious. And then we have keep calm and effing breathe. Raise the vibe and breathe at a time. Oh, raise the vibe one breath at a time. Sorry, guys. Raise the vibe one breath at a time. So definitely breathwork and exercises. One that's really easy to do and very helpful is the 4-7-8 breathing. You can also do 4-7-6, and that's where you inhale for 4, hold for 6, exhale for 7, or you can do it the other way with the 4-7-8. But it's like box breathing, basically. So if you do that, I recommend doing 3 sets of 3. Give that exercise a try and definitely You can comment in the video or send me an email and let me know how that process is working for you. But I use it all the time. It's wonderful. So something here about breath work and meditation. So guys, that is like the opening part of the message here. I don't want the message to get too long, but basically, let me see if I can just go over here because I really feel like what we talked about really ties in with today's download, which is your new identity is here. So someone in the download was having a hard time putting their finger on what feels off or different about their life. And it was like an area that was eluding them. And as soon as they believed that they were starting to figure it out, things were getting hazy again, and then it would fade back out again, and they're back to the same question. So there's something here in the energy today, and we kind of went through the card first, but there's something here in the energy today about someone trying to understand what their new identity is and how to step into it. And I really do think, based on the information that I really felt drawn to share at the beginning of the reading today, there is something here about how things are evolving in the timeline and how this is kind of moving people, like almost like a push into their new identity. Like if there was any delay before, it's done. It's going to happen. It's like a now or never thing. Maybe not so much now or never, because it would happen eventually, but now or never in this timeline. Like we're going to be making some choices here and choosing to step into our new identity. Either we're going to do it or we're not. That's kind of the energy I'm getting. So if there was any question or doubt before, it's going to become really clear by the choices that are presented to us on an individual level and as a collectives, what we truly want to experience. And so if we were doubting, things were hazy, unclear. Remember I pulled that card that talked about, clarity, the deception card in reverse, and how things are going to be revealed to us to help us to understand what we didn't even know we needed to understand. All of that is happening now. This is a present tense reading for the collectives. So we are going to have an opportunity to make those choices, to step into that part of our new identity. And we're going to see for the first time, possibly in this timeline, what that truly looks like on an individual level and as a collective. My hope, my wish is that we do this in a way that helps to elevate humanity and not tear it down. Guys, I'm going to close the reading out there. I'm sending so much love and light to those who resonated with today's energy. And definitely feel free to like, share, comment, leave a comment below if this resonated with you or you have your own thoughts on this. I would love to hear that. And feel free to send me an email as well if you'd like a personal reading. But once again, happy Monday to you all, or whatever day it is for you. My name is Ora-gen, and this is the Ora-gen Channel.